West Ham fans a little bit concerned. It's more than 50 days now since they won that Conference League title. Brilliant achievement for them, only the second European trophy in their history. It's a good few weeks since Declan Rice completed his British record, £105 million move to Arsenal, but still not a single player signed, and actually more players looking to follow Declan Rice out of the exit. Gianluca Scamacca hasn't worked out for him at all. Certainly is one of those. We know there was a bid of around about £17 million from Inter Milan. That was rejected instantly, but he will keep pushing. Mikel Antonio, I think, is open to a new challenge. Aaron Cresswell, who was close to Wolves, doesn't look like that deal will happen, but he wants out. And I'm told even PAQUETA, one of the stars of last season, maybe isn't entirely enamoured with life at West Ham. So I think this is a really concerning state of events for West Ham fans.
Well, here we are. I mean, August the 1st, so we're into a new month, and this is the month. And of course, the morning after the night before, over in Prague, West Ham, as Alex said, won the Europa Conference final. Of course they did, against Fiorentina.
It looks like there's a clear issue now involving David Moyes, the manager who led West Ham to that European trophy last season, and Tim Steidten, the new sporting director, recruited from the Bundesliga. I think really because of his expertise when it came to the European market. Certainly you look at Fofana, midfielder at Monaco. He's one that Steidten has recommended to West Ham. But there seems to be definite pushback, I'm told, from David Moyes in terms of the recommendations of the new sporting director. I wonder if that's because David Moyes has loyalty to the likes of Mark Noble and Rob Newman, who seem to have been sidelined. Wouldn't surprise me if this led to the departure, even this early in his tenure, of Steidten, because you look at it, if he's not having the say that he wanted, then maybe he would start to question, well, what am I actually doing here?
Yeah, as technical director, this is his field. Yeah. We mentioned Manchester United. They're going to get the Danish lad. Of that, it seems almost certain. Elsewhere, what's coming your way?
I've just had a message from the wife, by the way. She says, tell Jim he's always on his phone. That's true, particularly particularly the transfer window.
Tell her I witness it on a daily basis. I watch you.
We should talk about Chelsea, actually, because I think they're still in need of reinforcement. Pochettino, as much as he wants to clear the squad, he wants to get his own players in as well. One of them could well be DUSAN VLAHOVIC at Juventus, number 9. They're fit on the ground. Obviously, we know that Lukaku wants to join Juventus, and my understanding is that Chelsea and Juve in talks about some kind of potential swap deal. I think there's a lot of water to flow under the bridge before that happens, but they do look like they're missing that focal point, Chelsea. And Kunku's had a good pre-season, but he's not really an out-and-out number 9. Nicholas Jackson is a player who, again, has looked good in pre-season, but can he translate that to the Premier League? I think Pochettino looking for a bit more experience. And, of course, we're still in standstill mode when it comes to Chelsea and Moises Caicedo. No imminent sign of a breakthrough in negotiations there. So they're another team, Chelsea, who've got a lot of work to do between now and the big kickoff.
You know, Alex, it just strikes me, it would not surprise me if Brighton end up holding on to Caicedo. Because a few days ago, I was in touch with one of the top brass, you know who I mean, at Brighton. And I was told in no uncertain terms, look, he's 21. 4 more years left in his contract. We neither want nor need to sell him.
And that's a strong message. And that's the message that Chelsea have been getting every time they've put in one of these low-ball offers. And, of course, the other discussion that's been taking place whenever Chelsea have been on the blower about Caicedo is, OK, well, can we have Levi Colwill as part of the deal? That clearly won't happen now. talkSPORT broke the news last night that long-term contract, 6 years, we understand, has now been agreed between Chelsea and Levi Colwill. He's staying at Stamford Bridge, and I think that's significant because there was definitely a stage towards the end of last season, having spent the year on loan at Brighton, loved playing under Roberto De Zerbi, that Colwill wasn't necessarily desperate to get back to Chelsea, but he's spent a bit of time with Pochettino, who we know is a master at developing young players. I think Pochettino has played a big role in Colwill committing his future, and I would expect him to play regularly for Chelsea in the Premier League next season, which is good news for England, bearing in mind we've got a European Championship coming up at the end of the season.
And dare I mention it, before we sign off at this particular moment, Bayern Munich, over in Munich, said to be increasingly confident of signing Kane after holding positive talks with Daniel Levy yesterday.
Yeah, Tottenham are remaining tight-lipped on this situation. I know you've reached out to people at Spurs this morning and got nothing back. I did the same yesterday. I think they're keen for it not to become a soap opera, not to provide a running commentary. We know the meeting took place. We know there's still a gap in the valuation of the two football clubs of around about £25 million. So that seems a fairly big gap that will need to be made up. But the mere fact that Daniel Levy is entering into face-to-face talks over lunch with his Bayern counterparts, I think that's a big indicator, A, that Harry Kane has expressed that he wants to go to Bayern Munich, and B, that maybe for the first time, Daniel Levy is actively contemplating selling Tottenham star striker.
Okay, Harry on to get the lederhosen on if they win the Bundesliga title. That's what they all do.
Jim White and Simon Jordan. Monday to Friday mornings from 10 on AM, on DAB, via the talkSPORT app and on your smart speaker. talkSPORT.